Good evening, dandies. Welcome to Undetermined, the podcast.
Well, if anyone has a shitty connection, it's me.
Yay!
You sound good.
Okay,
So far,
sweet.
so good.
Sound. Yeah.
So you on a phone? Is that what's
I
happening?
am.
Yeah.
Yep. Let's
Wow.
hope for the best.
Sounds pretty good for that.
Bagger 77. Were you born in 77?
No, my wife was.
Okay.
I was born in 68. I've actually got a birthday 2 days from now. So
Wow,
Oh, yeah, I saw that coming up.
Yeah.
I know. I don't know if 52 is into your 50s or if it's just still at the start. So
Right.
I like to think it's still at the start. So
Yeah.
Right. Well, I'm 48 and I'm still considering it mid 40s.
perfect.
So-
So I got at least till 58. Okay, good.
They keep knocking a decade off all the time anyway. It's like 40 is the new 50.
Right.
You know?
No,
See?
I'm mid 40s until I get to 49 for sure. I got another few months.
Yeah.
All right.
So-
My dad used to say that. He was like, he would look at the news and be like, they increased the life expectancy for men in the United States by another year this year. And I was like, yeah, that's not how it works. I was like, you don't get a free year like a vampire.
Exactly.
Every time you do that. As long as
Yeah.
you're smoking cigarettes, drinking like 3 pots of coffee and eating eggs for breakfast every day,
Yeah.
maybe if you were jogging, but if you
Right.
live like it's 1956. I mean, you're not, you
Well, I
got
know.
whatever that life
Right.
expectancy is,
Oh, yeah. My trauma in my 30s was losing my hair. The trauma in my late
Yeah.
40s
Oh.
was going on blood pressure medicine. Now I don't know what the 50s will bring, but hey, I'm ready for
yeah.
anything.
I'm on the
Yeah.
blood pressure stuff. I
Oh.
fortunately still have most of my hair.
Yeah.
John, you do too.
Yeah, I haven't had a problem with hair. I got a problem with everything else, but not with hair.
Well, see, but now it's all paid off where I can shave my own head. So I'm
There you
the
go.
one.
And that's the move.
I'm the one looking clean right now, and everyone's looking nasty. So, hey.
Right. Yep. Yeah, I'm looking like one of the guys from like, the Stones or Small Faces or something
Yes.
here. Just like
No.
got the mop top going on because I can't get it cut.
Yes. It's time to come back with that.
Wearing a hat every day.
My wife really wants me to get my hair cut, and I'm kind of like, nah, I kind of like it. I just want to get it just long enough that I can like tie it back in a ponytail, and I'm almost there.
Oh,
Oh,
So
yes.
close to the toe.
There
do
you
the man
go.
bun. That'll piss her off.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I could pull off the man bun now.
Mhm.
Yeah, the
Mhm.
Japanese samurai look.
Probably cover my
There you
bald
go.
spot while I'm at it.
Wonderful.
Wonder.
Oh.
Yeah,
Is that
it's-
it? The man bun is like the new comb over.
It's a good way to pile it up. Yeah. Yep.
So true.
Yep.
That's right where I'm bald, so that's seems like a good plan. I should have thought about that earlier.
Man, I can't remember. I don't even remember seeing you ever having your hair like short.
Yeah, it doesn't work short.
Yeah. You got a lumpy head or something?
No, I got just my hair does not cooperate well. So if you
Oh.
there's like any middle length does not work. Anything short or middle is just like Cowlick City. And I can't do anything with it.
See, at least you've accepted your limitations, so you know just where to go with it. Yeah, that's the key.
So I got to have it a little bit long, or not at all. And I'm not to the point where I have to give up hair.
Yeah, because there was no way in hell I was going to do a comb over, so it was like, I'm shaving this shit. Yeah.
Yeah. No, shaving it's the right move. I think.
I agree.
Absolutely.
Oh, thank God.
Just commit and do that. I don't understand the guys who just like grow it out long on the sides and just rock a bald spot like they're,
I know, the old mad professor look.
right. Or a pate from like a Gregorian monk.
Right.
It's like, what are you rocking there?
Right.
Yeah, that's definitely the move. If I ever start losing it, that's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to shave that shit off.
There you go.
Now that we've gone off the rails,
Yeah.
which is typical. Who are we talking to this evening? You want to introduce yourself?
This is Charles Mooney, also known as Charles Mooney III,
Mm-hmm.
and original guitarist and co-founder of the Toadies,
Right on.
and currently guitarist for SOLSHIFTER.
Right on.
Yeah.
Yep.
We are fans of both.
We are.
Well, very cool. Very cool. And
Yeah.
I love hearing that.
Yeah.
So I know I'm actually proud to be able to say I was a toady. Thank God we wrote songs that still stand the test of time.
Yeah.
It's bad enough when it was 20 something years ago, but then to be in a band where it's like, yeah, no, we really didn't do much.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's amazing how it's all stuck around. Proud of that.
Well, I think one thing about it too is it didn't take much. That's the one thing about it. Just like Rubberneck, for example, every song on that album is a banger.
Yeah.
Every single one.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's helped a lot.
Oh, yeah. That's so true.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, back when we were playing many of those songs, they went through quite a few different versions before it ultimately ended up where it's at.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it was just kind of like, yeah, we don't need a bridge like that. I mean, it's like Velvet came from just a little break in another song that we used to do.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I mean, it's you give things time to kind of grow and to transition into something better, and you hope it works out.
Yeah. Well, and some ballsy moves there too with like putting Mexican Airless first and just having like a song that doesn't have any lyrics in it, just some screaming,
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Now
That could easily lose people, but it didn't. It's a great hook, man.
Mm-hmm.
It's a great hook.
Oh, yeah.
From the beginning.
No, there are so many great things on that album. So yeah, I was very proud to have been a part of creating all that stuff.
So where did you grow up?
In Fort Worth.
In Fort Worth.
Yes, Lisa, Todd, myself, we were all Fort Worth just right from the very beginning.
Mm-hmm.
And we worked in a record store together. And that's kind of how we all got involved in. I mean, we all love music. It's neat because we all brought little different aspects into the band. I had a little punkier side.
Mm-hmm.
Todd had more of a melodic appreciation, and Lisa had kind of her new wave punk thing going.
Mm-hmm.
So it really helped to kind of take all those different things and create something different.
The blend worked for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Lisa was telling us about how when she got, invited to play or whatever, she's like pretty much had her dad go buy her a bass that day. He's like, okay, I got to learn how to play the bass.
Oh, yeah, no. It was what happened is I had been doing sound for the band Todd was in before the Toadies, a band called Gunga Din.
Mm-hmm.
And they kind of played some cover songs. They were just kind of a little club band.
Mm-hmm.
They did some Echo and the Bunnymen, some Church,
Okay.
some Cult covers. This is back in like 1988, maybe.
Oh, yeah. Fresh covers. Yeah.
Yeah. And so what ended up happening is I started kind of getting Todd into more heavier stuff, just kind of sharing mixtapes.
Mm-hmm.
That's what we did then.
Yeah.
And just kind of making some cassettes and throwing some stuff at him. So I'd throw some of the punkier stuff, like No Means No and Alice Donut.
Yeah.
Some things like that. And it's funny because we actually ended up going to a Smithereens concert at the Hard Rock in Dallas.
Oh,
And we were there. I mean, we had such a blast. It was just they were just one of those fun bands to see.
they are fun. I saw that.
It really was great. I was glad I got to see them. And then the next day, of course, at Sound Warehouse, where we're all working, Todd comes up and says, "Do you want to start a band?"
Mm-hmm.
And it was like, well, hell, I didn't even play guitar.
Oh, you didn't?
No.
Yeah, that was going to be my next question. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that Lisa told us that.
Yeah, I didn't play guitar, and just an appreciation for music. And so Todd's like, "I'll teach you."
Mm-hmm.
And of course, I'm like, "Well, God, I don't even know how to play it." But he's like, "Nah, no problem." So ended up getting a guitar. And the funniest thing is, I mean, we started making some songs in my parents' playroom, a game room. And just kind of recording something. He had a track machine where he'd spit into it, and that was the snare.
Oh, yeah.
And loop it. So that was kind of our drum sound, and we just kind of write together. He really was the writer. He really came up with some amazing things.
Mm-hmm.
And then it was so funny because, of course, we're like, okay, we need a bass player. And so we made these flyers and put them in the music stores and all that stuff. But that was the time not the Blood Sugar Sex Magic album, but the one before that, the Red Hot Chili Peppers album.
Mother's Milk, was it?
Mhm.
I think.
Yeah, Mother's Milk. That was the big thing then.
Higher Ground was on there.
Yes, and everyone we had come to try out played that damn funk.
Yeah.
Bass.
They all wanted to be Flea.
Trying to be Flea.
Yeah, and it's like, my God, that's not what we want. And Todd came up with a brilliant idea one day. He's like, you don't know, when you work in a record store, you don't know many people with money.
Right.
And he was like, well, Lisa has money. Let's convince her to play bass.
Mm-hmm.
And she was in the same boat as I was. And he's like, don't worry, I'll teach you. So he was ready to take us both under his wing. So we got some equipment, and then it just all worked from there.
Yeah.
That was the cool part.
What a long shot.
Oh, yeah.
It's kind of hard to fathom in a way. And I'm not shitting on anything. I hope it doesn't sound that way. But how crazy, like, okay, yeah, I'm just going to teach these guys to play the instrument and we're going to make a platinum selling album out of it.
Oh, you're not kidding. I mean, it was definitely but sometimes not having an idea of what you're doing or coming in with music theory in your head sometimes can pay off.
Right. It gives you some freedom.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's just like all that feedback sound was what I created because I didn't know how to play a lead.
Mm-hmm.
I've had some different guitars, and then I was like, oh, I really want a Les Paul because I really love the thickness and the sound of it. And I went to a music store and I bought one, and I'm like, I want you to install a tremolo on this. And I mean, the guy asked me like 4 times, are you sure you want to do this? Because he was going to have to cut into it and tear it apart and all this shit. He's like, you realize I'm going to have to route your guitar? And I'm like, yes, go ahead. Because I had been influenced by Jesus and Mary Chain's first album.
Mm-hmm.
I loved the idea of just full-on feedback sound.
Yeah.
But I was kind of like, I'd love to control it. And so every time it would come to a solo in a song, Todd would be like, well, just do what you do. And so I'd basically hit some notes and let them hang and use my tremolo.
Yeah.
So my weakness ended up being my strength and basically my signature sound.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yep.
And it's funny how that works out.
That's interesting. Did you ever have trouble like how did I do that again?
Oh yeah.
A lot of those moments.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Like, oh, I made this sound that I really liked and I have no idea what I was doing.
Oh yeah, but you know what? I use the same guitar that I used in the Toadies now.
Oh, cool.
There is really something magical about it. I mean, it's an 87 Cherry Sunburst Les Paul. I haven't really done anything to it except the tremolo. But there is something special about the feedback that comes from it.
Yeah.
And I've tried other Les Pauls and just messed with even more expensive ones. And it doesn't have what this one has. So something worked out. It's really something I just appreciate every time I play it. Because currently Steve, who I play with, the other guitarist in SOLSHIFTER, he's like, how the hell do you do that? Because I'll be feedbacking and taking some drinks of beer while I'm doing it.
Right.
Because it's like no trouble for me. And he's like, how the hell do you make it work like that? So,
yeah.
But yeah, it's an appreciation I have.
Well, it looks like Steve's been getting some practice in. Maybe he'll figure out something.
Well,
in the meantime,
he is.
We're a little worried.
Well, but you know what? We actually mix really well together because, oh my God, he's got that whole 80s metal thing going. And I mean, he can definitely play those riffs and really make them sound amazing.
Yeah, he can.
And I can't do that shit. I'm just like,
yeah.
Play some lead, do whatever you need to do. So we end up not really stepping on each other's toes when we play. We gel really well together.
That's nice.
Yeah, it is cool.
Yeah, we've been a little worried about him when he's making some videos with the wigs and the Patriot pants.
I know. Yeah, and I wish he wouldn't watch Top Gun so much.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, he definitely has his fun little issues.
Yeah, whatever you got to do to get through the quarantine, I guess. Just
exactly.
Yeah. I was showing my wife like one of his videos that he had recorded, and my wife was like, "So, is he single? And I'm like, yeah. Yeah.
See, I know. We have yet to be invited to his house, so we wonder
Oh, yeah.
wonder what he's up to.
Oh no, he's got a gimp outfit.
Yeah,
Oh yeah. There's no telling.
a little room you don't go into. Yeah.
Mhm. Right. The one with triple locks.
Don't go in.
Right. Giggity goo. Yeah, I could see that.
Mhm.
But, I don't know. Yeah, he's a nice guy, though. Excellent guitar player.
Very nice.
Yep.
Exactly.
Great
He
guitar
is.
player. So what was the last gig that you guys had lined up that got yanked from you on this?
Oh God, it was one of the ones.
Was it going to be Gas Monkey next?
It was Gas Monkey.
Oh no.
And it was in Dallas.
Yeah.
And that was the biggest letdown because we were finally getting back into Dallas.
Mm-hmm.
That was a tough one. I mean, the guys we were going to be playing with, they promised that they're going to get another show booked once everything gets back to normal.
Good.
So
Good. Yeah, that Gas Monkey's taken off to be, I mean, for, a newer venue to be a pretty hot one.
yeah.
And, yeah. I mean, just checking tour dates and stuff. I don't get down there, but I see he plays there. And it's like, seeing Dead Cross play there and a few others. It's like, right on.
Yeah. You love it when it's set up like that, where the sound is great, the stage is great.
Mm-hmm.
You just appreciate that. And so that's what we're hoping comes back to fruition real soon.
Yeah, that's too bad. You guys doing any practice or anything via web or anything like that?
No, not really. I mean, we're just kind of waiting that out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that can't be the same.
No.
It's one thing to do for like a novelty video or something, or just to keep, fans interested, and that's good. I don't have any problem with it if you're just having fun, but it's got to be hard to work that way when you can't feel, what's going on in the room.
Oh, and I mean, it's distance-wise, sadly, we're pretty far apart. It's like Steve and I live in Granbury, which is about an hour away from where Matt lives, which is then another hour away from where Lisa lives. So it's like Lisa has all the stuff going on in Dallas, and that's really a quarantined area.
Mm-hmm.
We're just we're hoping maybe to get a practice in next week and get going again, because we got a bunch of stuff that we've written that we want to work on. So hopefully things will be changing real soon.
Yeah. Well, when you're talking just a handful of people too, and nobody's been sick in weeks, and you're
Right.
And we do know we've had a couple people we talked to Jesse Hunt last week of Cyanotic, and he was making it up to the studio, but it was funny. They were recording a video, I guess, where they were like flying a drone around from room to room. So they wouldn't be next to each other.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's a big studio. So they were like flying around to room to room. You'd hear it like buzzing out there and stuff. He's like, yeah, they're flying around there. But, they were able to kind of do that and work at their own kind of workstations. And but it's a lot more industrial music and a lot more like, computer driven stuff. And they can kind of work on that and put the sound in another room.
When all this first started, I didn't know how serious to take it.
Yeah.
It's like, well, I mean, it sounds like the flu to me.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like, well, God, how do we treat this? And of course, with all the stuff you hear and the way people are acting, it's like, well, damn, I better play along and just make sure nothing happens to me or to my family. So it's like, okay, we'll just go ahead and do what we need to do. And I mean, my wife and I, we both are in banking, so we're considered essential. So we're going to work. We got shorter hours, thank God, which I'm really getting used to. So part of me doesn't want this to end.
Right.
But yeah, it's just you got to kind of do what you got to do. But it's working out okay. So
maybe you kind of touched on something that I've been thinking about, and I'm wondering if this whole crisis, whatever we want to call it, will help us with, is the whole idea of working smarter, not harder.
Yes, I know.
Because it feels like, as Americans especially, we're just like, no, you got to put in the hours. You got to bust your ass all the time, or it's not worthwhile. Fuck that.
Well,
no.
Yeah, and you think about the changes that happened with 9/11. I mean, with flying.
Mm-hmm.
And people just came to accept it. And that was just something they needed to do. And what are the changes that are going to happen with this? I mean, are more people going to be Purelling 24/7, wearing masks? I don't know.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Yeah. will that change? How much will it change the way that people do things forever? It's like after something like the Great Depression, it changed so many people's habits.
Yeah.
Just
exactly.
what they did every day. Wondering if we're going to have some repercussions from that. I don't know.
Oh yeah.
Hopefully, people will at least appreciate things a little bit more. At least.
Oh yeah. We're so dying to get back together and just jam. It's like
Yeah.
I'm going to appreciate every moment when we get to do it. But it's like things looked actually more normal in Dallas and Fort Worth when everyone got their stimulus check.
Right.
It was like, okay, I think we're good enough to go buy that TV.
Right.
Or so there's more traffic out there
not
now.
Spend it, so.
Yeah. So things seem to be swaying in the right direction.
I had a question for you just to backpedal a little bit, going back to those early Toadies days.
Sure.
I always wanted to know how you wired this up. The story goes, we used to have a cardboard cutout on stage of John Bon Jovi.
Yeah.
Right? Right?
Yes.
Hooked a pickle up to his crotch on a motor. Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And whenever you play a riff, or if it was it feeding back, or when you just played a note, it would start spinning in circles?
No, actually, well, see, this was the bonus by working in the video department of Sound Warehouse, because you have all these cutouts and things that come out as promos.
Right.
Well, yeah, there was a Bon Jovi one, and God, I can't even tell you what movie it was, but there was, because this was back in VHS days where you'd have the cassettes behind the wall, and someone would bring up the box saying, "I want to rent Caligula tonight." And then,
right.
So, but anyway, there was some poster that had a big jar of pickles, and one of the pickles was kind of angled at a 90-degree angle, and so it looked like the perfect penis, and that was actually our very first show at an old club called the Axis, which was a really amazing place. The Fugazi, we opened for them there.
Wow, yeah.
Nirvana played there.
Oh, wow.
Goo Goo Dolls, back when they were metal.
Yeah.
We opened for them. But anyways, I've always loved the Butthole Surfers. And so I've always loved having a visual aspect of something.
Right.
And so I thought, what better way to have it for our first show than to have Bon Jovi standing right up there, because it was life size.
Yeah.
And yeah, we put the pickle right at his crotch. And the funny part is, and Todd was actually pretty good at helping me figure this out. He had a M90 phaser pedal that he didn't use. And with pedals, it's like you can just click it off. It breaks the connection.
Right.
And we wired it so that when I punched the pedal, it would start a motor that I got from Radio Shack on the back of the Bon Jovi, and the penis attached to it would spin. So for our and of course it was the last song. It was a song called "It's Funny." And the very end of it is when we just start banging and bashing. And at that moment, I punched the pedal. And it was funny because I had to punch the pedal twice because the pickle was so heavy. I almost had to kind of get it spinning. And so I had to hit it, turn it off to kind of crank it.
Right.
And the pickle dick spun. During our final song, and
after you gave it the big punch,
yeah, and for the handful of people there, we got a standing ovation.
That's definitely
so maybe 15, 20 people there. So that was good.
Memories, make a memory.
Nice.
Oh yeah.
Do you still have the cutout?
No, I don't. I don't know where.
It's a shame.
I know. Who would have known to hold on to that? And actually, when you go with that kind of thing, it's really a one and done. You don't repeat it at another show, because then you don't want to be the crowd thinking, well, when are they going to turn the dick on?
Right.
So
did somebody stop for pickles? No.
Yeah, I know. This must be the last song the pickles spin. So now we didn't want to be a cliche.
Right.
So I guess that'd be a cliche Clausen. I don't
Right.
know. We retired Bon Jovi after that, but that was
just that one show. Yeah.
yeah.
Given his 80s pension, I bet you that's what Dirty Steve's hiding at his house.
Oh God, don't you know it? Yeah, because and it's great because Bon Jovi's wearing the shirt that says "slippery when wet,"
Oh, nice.
and it's like, hey. Sometimes things like that just work out perfect.
Mm-hmm.
And actually, on the way to that show, we were in Todd's van, this yellow van with shag carpet in the back. I mean, it could be a serial killer van,
Right?
no problem. And we ran out of gas. I mean, like about 10 minutes from the venue. So you knew it was going to be great after you have those two things happen.
Right.
For your first show.
Right.
It was a great time.
Sounds like it. I can't get over that imagery.
Oh,
I had not heard that story. That's pretty awesome.
That goes so far back. I know.
I saw it. I think there's a photo that remains, and I think it was Lisa who posted it on Facebook.
I do have a few of them.
Yeah, the infamous pickle incident.
Yeah.
With the John Bon Jovi cover, and she described it beautifully, but you couldn't really see. You could barely make it out.
Yeah, I've been cautious to put the clear pickle shots on like YouTube or Facebook. I don't want to get banned.
Well, we can put it up on the website. That's ours. Nobody can control that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I tell you what, I'll go through my pictures and send you a good clear pickle shot.
There you go.
So.
All right. Make that our new logo.
Mm-hmm. At least a t-shirt.
Oh, that would be a good t-shirt.
That would be a great one. Yeah. Yeah. Like the 80s Bon Jovi kind of font versus Toadies.
Oh my God.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
I'd buy one. I'd buy a couple of them.
SOLSHIFTER. Is that what it would be?
Yeah.
That's good.
Right. Hey, where can we get your merch, by the way? I was looking the other day. I wanted to buy a t-shirt because I'm not spending any money on gas.
Yeah.
We're still working on trying to figure out that process because it's
okay.
We've got them printed, but I know it's like, good God, it costs this to just have a website. Then it costs this to be able to sell merch on it, things like that.
Mm.
Once we probably get more shows going and things like that, we'll start probably expanding that stuff. Probably you could even just message SOLSHIFTER on Facebook and just let us know.
Yeah.
And we'll send you one because Lisa's designed a couple t-shirts for us.
Yeah, I kind of like the cupcake. I really do.
I know when she came up with that cupcake one, it was like, oh my God, that's perfect.
Yeah.
Birds and cupcakes. How hippie can we get?
Yeah. Yeah. One of my favorite local bands here, we've had them on the show, The Many Colored Death. They've got a t-shirt with the logo. The logo is called Sprinkles the Destroyer.
Oh, it's a great t-shirt.
And it's a unicorn that's like a pink unicorn breathing flames, and it has tank treads for legs. And it's rolling through these rainbow bright kind of billowy clouds. And it just has the Many Colored Death logo.
Oh,
it's
God.
A beautiful t-shirt. I mean, I actually, first time I went to see that band, I saw the banner and I was like, I think I'm going to like these guys. I'm going to stick around.
And see,
yeah.
that can so win you over with someone.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, my God, think back to the days where, God, we didn't have any of this stuff to listen to music. We had to almost buy albums on site.
Right.
And a lot of the albums I bought were just because the cover was so fucking cool.
We talk about that stuff a lot.
Yeah. We're reading about Circus Magazine describing a record to you. And you're like, okay, I'm going to order that one through a zine. Take about 6 to 8 weeks to get to the house.
Yeah.
You get burned sometimes,
Oh, yeah. No doubt.
I've also discovered some great shit that way.
Oh, no. And I mean, sometimes I also based it on what record label they were on.
Mm-hmm.
Like if they were on SST or Touch and Go.
Wax Tracks.
Or Alternative Tentacles.
Alternative Tentacles, yep.
I was like, yeah, more than likely, this is going to be the kind of shit I like.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yep.
I mean, that's why a good t-shirt can pay off.
Yeah.
One of my favorite records was that Virus 100, Alternative Tentacles. It was all Dead Kennedys covers.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. No Means No, actually. You were talking about them earlier. They have one on there. It's an a cappella version of Looking Forward to Death. That's it's amazing.
Mhm.
All acapella. They're singing all the instrument parts. You should look it up.
Oh, no, I've actually got the CD of it. I need to go pull it out.
Oh, do you?
Yes.
It's a good one.
Oh, my God. That is too cool.
Yeah, I love that label. SST too. We've had a few SST artists on.
Yeah.
Started out with Greg.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah. Will and
Well, Gary Lee Conner started out with
Yeah.
Greg Ginn, from Screaming Trees. Yeah,
Oh,
he put a lot of records out.
yeah.
Hit and miss on a lot of people's opinion of him, but you look at what he's done, just the work he's done. Amazing.
Oh, yeah. Just like the godfather of all that.
Mm-hmm.
Just all the work he did.
yeah, for sure.
Yep. First, I argued kind of the first kind of indie punk label that I could think of that really took off anyway.
Oh, yeah. Because it was like, oh, my God. Husker Du, Minutemen, all those meat puppets.
yeah.
Oh, my God.
Mhm.
Ugh.
So how long did you, so you played with the Toadies, just to get a timeline. You tour with them a bit.
Well, it's funny because I think because I started it with Todd and then I played with him about 6 years.
Mm-hmm.
And actually, I got to a crossroads where I was getting married and graduating from college.
Mhm.
All the politically correct stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I was kind of like pressured to be like, okay, I got to make a decision because we hadn't been signed yet. I mean, we were on a minor label. We were on Grass Records.
Mm-hmm.
And we had released Pleather
Right.
on CD, which was like a mini CD.
Mhm.
And then it got to that point where I knew something really good could happen, but I didn't know. I mean, I couldn't rely on it.
Right.
Well, you can't. No.
Yeah,
How
so-
could you?
1 in a million shot in a lot of cases.
Well, and I mean, my God, this is our first band. I've never been through the experience of, having it go really great or really bad. This is my first time to ever experience this.
Mm-hmm.
And Lisa's always told me because I actually left 3 months before they got signed to the major label and started recording Rubberneck.
Mm-hmm.
So
Wow.
badass timing on my
Oh
part.
man.
So at that point, you just kind of stepped away from music in general as far as playing with people.
Yeah, because it was just kind of like, okay, getting married, doing the whole family thing.
Yeah.
So it just it reached that point and missed it
Oh man.
from the moment I left.
Oh, yeah.
And the band was pissed at me leaving
Mhm.
because it's just like, okay, here we go. We got all this going on and you got to go.
Right.
But that's a lot of the things that people don't realize about the Toadies is that after they recorded Rubberneck, they toured nonstop for about a year at least.
Yeah.
I mean, they worked their asses off.
And all over the country.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. And with not much result.
Yeah.
It took a long time for things to start working out. And I mean, that would have been hard as hell to do that. So I can't really say that I regret the musicianship and being with them
Yeah.
because that was so amazing being with them
Mm-hmm.
for all that stuff.
Well, you help with through making some of those seminal tracks and things like that. That's important.
Right.
It's the foundation of the band.
Yeah.
So, I mean, after that, just nothing until SOLSHIFTER. Is that the case?
Well, no. Well, little bit sadly more drama than that.
Mm.
No, actually, thank God for Facebook and social media
Mhm.
because really it ended up happening where Todd and I really didn't talk. I mean, I felt he was mad at me. He thought I was mad at him.
Mhm.
Lisa just kind of stayed out of everything. And actually, it was about probably, maybe 10 years ago that I saw Lisa at an old Sound Warehouse reunion.
Oh, cool.
All the employees of Sound Warehouse, we gathered at someone's house, and I was telling her, I was like, I really miss all of you, but I think Todd's still pissed at me and all this stuff.
Mhm.
And she's like, actually, if you reached out to him, he'd love it.
Yeah.
And that was when she was already out of the band. So I actually reached out to him through Facebook.
Mhm.
And ended up going up and playing some encores with the Toadies at a couple of their.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I did one at the Palladium in Dallas and one at the They have a festival, Dia de los Toadies.
Dia de los, yeah, right on.
Yeah, that was really cool. But I tell you what, things were very much more business-like.
Mm-hmm.
Sadly, I think Todd kind of approaches life in a more careful way.
Mm-hmm.
So he's kind of cautious. We talked. I mean, it was great seeing him.
Right.
But it wasn't like, hey, let's get the band back together
Right.
like this.
Yeah.
It was just more come up and play a couple songs. Nothing else really came from that. And then it started feeling cliche of, well, here comes the old Toady
Right.
for an encore. So I was like, nah.
Yeah, and you don't want to fall on that.
Yeah, it's like, no, I can't do that anymore.
Right. And your next year, Pete Best signing, print.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, yeah, no.
Good way to put it. Yeah.
Don't give me that. So,
Yeah.
but then a few years down the road is when all of this started happening with SOLSHIFTER. I don't know if you know the whole story behind that.
A little bit, I think, but it wasn't. Didn't Matt want it to put together? Was that what's going on?
Right. Urban Gypsy was doing a gig and asked you and Lisa.
Yeah, Urban Gypsy they were just doing covers.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the covers they did was Tyler.
Great.
And I happened to see them doing that song on a video just posted on Facebook.
Uh-huh.
And I just happened to message Matt going, hey, great cover of the song. Sounds really good.
Uh-huh.
And he got back with me and he was like, well, would you love to come and play with us? And it was like, well, hell, why not? That sounds fun.
Mm-hmm.
And then a couple days later, Matt's like, how would you feel if I invited Lisa to come on? And we hadn't played with each other, gosh, maybe 22 years, 23 years.
Wow.
I was like, well, God, if Lisa wants to do it, I mean, that would be the icing on the cake. And sure enough, we set up a show where we came up and did, I think, like 3 songs at the end of the set of an Urban Gypsy show.
Mm-hmm.
And oh my God, I mean, it's just like, it's that feeling of when you've been around people that, you've been away from them for a very long time, but to get right up there and play with them,
Mm-hmm.
you haven't missed a day.
Yeah. Oh, that's nice.
We hadn't skipped a beat.
Yeah.
So we did that. And then it's like, because Lisa and I started thinking, we really ought to do something because she had stepped away from music and she was kind of itching to, once she got a little taste of it, it starts kind of pulling you back in.
Right.
That's really how it all came about. And then when Lisa and I started talking about doing our own project, we started thinking for a while, looking around, maybe talking to people. And she's like, really, the people that we could use to form a band are right there under our noses. Jennifer, Matt, and Steve.
Yeah.
So we talked with them at a Waffle House, and we were like, what do you think about us doing a project? They got on board immediately.
Mm-hmm.
It's been that ever since, and it just keeps getting better and better.
Yeah. Isn't that strange how the solution's always right in front of your nose, seems like, and
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And the more I thought about it, it was like, okay, it's kind of cool to go with a female voice.
Yeah.
Because it's not like we're trying to create a Toadies Junior project.
Right. That's a good point. That's maybe the easiest way to get around that. Like, we're not trying to sound like the Toadies. We'd have a dude singing if that were the case.
Oh, yeah.
Well, it's kind of like the story of starting Pearl Jam. And it's like when everybody came to the audition, they all sounded like Andy Wood. And they were trying to sound like Mother Love Bone. And they were like, that's just not. In the end, he was the first, like Eddie Vedder was the first one to come up who didn't sound anything like him. And they were like, that's our guy.
Oh, wow.
That's what we're kind of looking for. Something different.
Which is smart.
Sweet. Yeah, that's really
smart.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. It just, and plus, I mean, Todd was the core writer of all the music.
Mm-hmm.
He was very talented with all that. He would bring the stuff in. We'd add our little things to it, like guitar parts and just kind of how to kind of make it sound like something we like, but take him out of the equation. And it's like, well, definitely we might sound Toady-ish because of my feedback, but now
there's a new variable.
Yeah.
There's a common denominator, but there's a new variable in there. And that
exactly.
Well, I know Jennifer seems tickled. She seems tickled pink, man. It's just like, she's like, oh, I'm playing with my heroes. whole time. He was pretty happy about that. Yeah.
Oh, and that's what's funny as hell, but it's definitely humbling when you find out that they were listening to your music when they were in high school or grade school. I mean, depending on the age.
Right.
But that's what makes it cool.
Yeah, it really is.
Yeah, she cares.
Yeah.
Her voice just keeps getting better and better and more suited every time.
Right.
It does.
Getting a little grittier. And...
Well, it's like I've thrown some interesting stuff at her because I do a lot of the lyrics, and I definitely have a darker side to me in a loving way. I'm the most gentle guy in the world, but I do have a dark side.
In the imagery.
Yeah, exactly. And one of the songs I had just done, we played it a couple times live. But I was really curious about having a song where you have a controlling male talking to his wife, girlfriend. And it's funny because I was trying to come up with the lyrics and I started out with "Think I'm over you." And then my wife said, "Think again, bitch." and it was like, oh my God, that's perfect.
Yeah.
And so I kind of started going with that, and the whole song, it's always that thing, and it drives me nuts when I hear guys being like, "Oh baby, I'll be good to you, but you better get my dinner to me fast."
Right.
And I have her singing as the man.
Yeah.
In the song.
Right.
That's interesting, yeah.
And she does it so great. She's like, "Think again, bitch." When she gets to that part.
She got some attitude, you can tell.
Oh, she does. She does. She really puts life into the lyrics and makes it really stand out and makes it work.
Yeah.
So
Right. But you got to be a strong personality if you're hooking up with Mad too.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Isn't that the truth? Yeah. I know. Matt played with us. It may have been about 2 years, but he was hardest hitting drummer I'd ever seen. And it kind of made me think of John Bonham because Bonham, I think, worked construction. And so did Matt.
Yeah.
He would, I mean, it was so bad because, of course, we don't have that much money. And he started off when he started playing with us with 3 cymbals. And by the time he was leaving us, he had a little crash cymbal because he had broken all the other ones.
Heavy-handed, huh?
Yeah. So there was just one little tiny crash cymbal at the end.
It takes a lot to do that, man. Those things are tough. They can take a beating.
Oh, God. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And the thing I always tell him is I always remember he was the one that told me, because I'm the last one to ever get into a fight. But he was like, if you ever get into a fight, hit them in the ear so it makes them all dizzy, and then you can beat the shit out of them the rest of the time. And I'm like, okay, smart. Well, thanks for telling me that.
Yeah.
And,
yeah, I've heard a couple of stories of his days in Pimpedelic and stuff, and they sound pretty raucous.
Oh my God.
We've been trying to get him on him and Jennifer on the show.
Hint, subtle.
Right.
Yeah.
On the show.
But oh my God, I mean, some of the stories we hear from him about Pimpedelic.
Yeah,
we're a little afraid.
He called me on the phone. He didn't know me from like anybody, and I can't even repeat what he said without blushing like a schoolgirl. I mean, he didn't know me from anybody other than like hearing Lisa's episode. And I'm up there just crying on my bed, laughing so hard at just the ridiculous shit he's saying. Totally not PC at all.
No, right.
And I didn't care either. I find that shit funny. But I really want to get him on just for that case, just because he can be so crude and so hilarious.
Oh my God. And the sweetest guy ever. I mean, he's probably going to hit me in the ear for saying that. But,
no, seems like a great dad, great father, great husband, all those things.
He really nice is. Guy. But I mean, just such a crude sense of humor. And if you have him on Facebook, you see you see the crudeness coming.
Yep.
It's like, because
he gives me a dirty grin just about once a day. Yeah.
Oh, exactly. He's a blast to have, though.
I bet.
I was going to ask earlier, coming back around and doing the music thing, what that was like. Just like, was there like a bittersweet period? Like, I could imagine listening to the radio and thinking, man, I had something to do with that, and there's my song again, and then like, fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's something I have struggled with for a long time because, yes, I played the shows where we played on Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays in Dallas, where you'd have the one person clapping after you were done.
Right.
And you help establish all these songs and get everything ready to go. And sometimes I feel like I'm the unknown Toady.
Yeah.
Just because that's my sound, that's the guitar.
Right, and it's still carried through.
Yeah.
Right. That's still there.
Yeah.
People are trying to imitate it.
And people have asked me, well, what happened to that sound after Rubberneck? And I'm like, well, I wasn't there.
Yeah.
It's like, that's what.
There's still an effort at it, I think, but it's not the same.
Yeah. There's some good tracks on the other album too. I'm below.
Oh yeah, no, definitely. I mean, we've actually covered some of those songs.
Yeah, great songs. But they're different.
They are, exactly.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, that's been a challenge. And this is kind of like my way of being able to be like, without boasting and kind of like, okay, let me let you see what I can do.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
And it does kind of make you feel good. So it was really nice to have them keep the guitar sound that I created for Rubberneck.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't like I left and they changed everything.
Right.
Boy, it's so hard to imagine it without that sound, though. I can't do it.
Those chugging guitars and the chugging guitars, the feedback, all that. It's necessary.
Oh yeah. No, it almost became just like a signature for it. So it's been something that this, I think, will be a little bit of a healing for me.
Yeah.
And
I can see that.
Medicine, just because it's like, yeah, that was truly me.
Yeah.
So
Well, it's good shit.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, good music, man.
Yeah.
Speaking of music, one thing I want to bring up, I don't want just to make it an interviewee thing, but I know a lot of times I'll like post videos and stuff. You'd be like, right on, or like I'm listening to like Sun or.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yes.
It's like I find some obscure shit that I post every once in a while that you're like, right on. We just got to get out and talk about music or anything. So, is there anybody that's exciting you that you're hearing like out of the area or anything I may not know of? Turn people on to?
Well, you know what? It's sad because I have yet to really get into the music scene locally.
Yeah.
I'm trying to, but God, when you have a job,
right,
you're like, okay, let's finish.
Mm-hmm.
Luckily, we go on at 9 and end at 10:30 because I got to get up for work the next day.
Right.
So
yeah,
I'm still kind of learning all that stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I've loved when you've posted music that I hadn't thought of for a while.
Yeah.
Sun and all that. Oh my God.
Even if it's mainstream shit, I don't care. Who are you into lately?
Oh no, lately, let's see. It's been I don't know. I keep listening to Death Grips.
Yes. Saw them with Ministry. What a show, man.
Oh my God.
Oh, amazing.
Yeah.
Me and my son love fucking Death Grips. Huge fans.
Oh my God. I saw them at Trees.
Yeah.
It was right after they had gotten back together after writing. They had split up on a napkin.
So what was that? Was that like the No Love Deep Web tour?
Yep. It was that tour.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Just the heat in the room, just the power they fucking played with. It was like, oh my God.
And that's that drummer from Hella too, isn't it? You play with them. What's his name? I can't think of him.
Yes.
Hill. Shane Hill, is that his name? I don't know. We saw them in Kansas City, and that was really good. They held their own there.
Wow.
I thought kind of the new album was a little gabber heavy for me.
Yeah.
But man, like Ex-Military and Deep Web and all those records, they're so good.
Yeah.
They're so good. I've been happy to turn people onto those.
Yeah.
Shout out to Matthew Amix out of Dallas, Texas, who actually turned me on.
Oh yeah.
First place.
Who's got a good band himself when he does it.
Absolutely. A few of them.
Yeah.
He played with the guys from I don't know if you're familiar with them. I'm thinking of Dallas bands. In the Earth.
Mm-mm.
He played in a band back in the day called Dead Right There.
Yeah.
They're mostly like grindcore and, doomy metal shit, really growly metal. Check out In the Earth, if you would, on Bandcamp. That's my buddy Matt. He's a nice guy and great musician, great artist.
In the Earth.
Yeah.
But yeah, I keep finding myself just going in and also just listening to old stuff. I mean, just the past stuff like Sun and all those different ones like that. It's just like, there's something always fresh about those, even to go back and listen to them.
Right.
I can even go as like Father John Misty and then all the way to Frank Sinatra.
Sure. I've been listening to a lot of Fragile Porcelain Mice in the last couple of days. I don't know if you remember those guys.
Mm-mm.
They were around the same era in the 90s. They're from a St. Louis band, though, right around the same time The Urge came out of there.
Yeah.
Oh, what's that song that I can't think of the name? I know a lot of their songs, but Function of Grief, I think it was called. But listening to them a lot just because I found out that Scott Randall, lead singer, is going to come on our show pretty soon. So
Oh, sweet.
I'm excited about that.
Good. Okay, cool. I always love the suggestion.
Well, typically, man, we would wrap up around at this point and ask you, like, what's going on in the future. But I guess, you got that one coming up at Ridgely in June. Fingers crossed.
Yes, exactly. I think that one was June 25th. It's a Saturday. It's like the last Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
So hopefully that will be happening.
Let's hope we're not out that far.
Man, yeah.
And it was just so frustrating because it's like we kept feeling momentum, and then it's just like almost starting over again.
Yeah.
But
I think a lot of people are feeling that.
yeah. I get it. Everyone's got to be safe, but
yeah,
you definitely want to get back to the regular routine.
Right. Our buddy Adam had like an album release, like his first album, like record release that he's ever going to get to do, and then had to cancel it because of the plague, and he was so excited about
Oh, God. Yeah, that really hurts.
It sucks, man. I felt pretty terrible.
It does.
I did tell him, I thought it was pretty cool that his record release, summoned the apocalypse.
Yeah.
So that was pretty rough.
Yeah.
Right. He's a good band to check. He's a good band to check out and a good band to check out. Nerd Table out of Columbus, Ohio.
Mm-hmm.
Appearances from Toshika Sai, Dale Crover from Melvins, Dave Abruzzese from Pearl Jam. He's got a huge collection of great artists who've contributed to his record. Nerd Table versus Galactic Turkey.
Okay, perfect.
Good stuff,
yeah.
man. All right. Well, we don't want to take up all night or anything, but
yeah,
it's been a great time talking to you, man.
Yeah.
Glad we finally got this worked out.
Well, I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Thank you for arranging this and the opportunity.
Yeah, we owe a lot to the former Toadies.
And the SOLSHIFTER gang.
Lisa kind of kicked us off with it. She was our first guest of note.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I just tagged her in Facebook. I was like, we were getting this thing off the ground. And I was like, boy, it'd be nice. I was like, Lisa Umbarger's always been one of my favorite thumpers. And I was like, it'd be cool to talk to her someday on the show. And just tagged her in it because I was just a fan. She's like, yeah, why not? I'm down. Really? Okay.
That's perfect. I wouldn't expect anything less from her. She's the sweetest person.
Yeah, she is. She's so great.
Yeah.
She's so great.
Yeah. That's what makes it so fun to be back with her.
I can imagine. Yeah. She's a pretty infectious personality.
I know.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, when you play together with people for 6 years, she played even longer.
Yeah.
You become a family,
Mm-hmm.
whether you like it or not. It's always great to get a reunion going with a good part of the family.
Well, when all this shit ends, we got to get down there to Texas and do some shots with you guys.
Man, would so love that.
Yeah, we definitely want to do that.
I think that's necessary. We got to go down there.
Would love it.
Use some airline miles.
Yes.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, you've been listening to Charles Mooney
That's me.
on Undetermined the Podcast. Thanks for listening, guys. We had a really good time tonight.
Absolutely.
All right. Bye-bye, everybody.
Hey,
Thank you.
thank you so much. All right, take care.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Yep.